Now come back to the knowledge why we are studying so extensively about the muscles or the skeletal system. So what is there for yoga teacher? So for yoga teacher, what we expect you to have is at least basic understanding of the naming of different groups of muscles. If the muscles are flat, muscles are named very, if you say casual discussion about muscles, muscles are named based on how they look and what is their size, what is their muscle fibers. For example, biceps means it has two muscle fibers, a group of muscle fibers. So tricep, they have three. So similarly, it is named according to the size, shape, the direction where it is going, and the bulk of the muscles, and how many muscle fibers. So various names. Is it flat bone? Is it a flat? Is it a very thin? So platysma, neck muscles are very thin. See these neck muscles. When we are getting old, these neck muscles will get hanged. So then we'll have that, the web neck kind of appearance. It's because of the loose platysma. So flat muscles of the head. When we have headache I describe as muscle spasm at the level of flat muscles of your forehead, either your frontalis muscles or temporalis muscles, occipitalis muscles. These flat muscles, because of various reasons, you are not slept well, or you are stressed up, or whatever is the reason, the blood circulation of the head, the muscles will change, and there is a blood vessels dilated, vasodilatation. Vasodilatation causes the muscles to get into spasm. So spasm is what it will end up in the pain. So headache have a head muscle spasm. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain have a neck muscle spasm. So spasm, and lower back also, it has a muscles getting into spasm because they are overworking. The muscles will go into a contraction, protective mode. Body wants to protect it somehow. You are sitting for long hours, body does not know. Body wants to protect it in some means. It will use the muscles to protect. So muscles have different function, one to protect the internal skeletal system and internal organs, and to produce heat, and to help you with the locomotion, movement and balance. So when you are doing asanas, imagine that this knowledge of anatomy and physiology, particularly these muscles, you are incorporating into asanas, and then you do asanas, it makes you feel much better. When you are doing Raja Kapotasana, for example, Raja Kapotasana, you are sitting with the folded leg, and then you are sliding onto the other leg, keeping the other leg stretched and extending the head backwards. When you are doing that, there is a particular hip joint stretch is what you are going to feel when you are doing Raja Kapotasana. So if you are able to correlate the asana, how to do asana is one style of studying. And in that particular asana, in this particular asana where you are holding the asanas, when you are holding the asana, what group of prime movers muscles are working, what group of synergistic muscles are working, what group of antagonists are working against the action. If you are able to understand, and if you are also able to understand the importance of warming up exercise and cooling down exercise, it is because of the presence of tendons and ligaments. You need to do a warm up exercise much more before you go into the action of the muscles. Warming up will help you to loosen the tendons and ligaments, and it will help the smooth muscle movement. The skeletal muscle movement will be easy, and you are able to achieve maximum flexion or maximum output from that particular group of muscles. And cooling down also, when the muscles are getting into action of actin, myosin filament and gliding and whatever contraction or extension, it will use maximum amount of glucose and oxygen from the body. When it uses glucose and oxygen, and it will go into a full-fledged action mode, it will produce heat and all the metabolic waste in the skeletal muscles. And once you are doing the cooling down exercise, when towards the end of yoga asana practice, you are doing the cooling down exercise. During this cooling down exercise, all the metabolic toxins from the skeletal muscles will be taken away. Mainly lactic acid, we call it as lactic acid. Lactic acid is the one which is responsible for muscle fatigue. You are doing one particular asana, your muscles will get tired. You are doing some dumbbell activities, your muscles of biceps or triceps are getting tired. It is because of accumulation of toxins called as lactic acid and Levy's P factor. So when you are doing cooling down exercises, all these toxins are taken out, flushed out, and it will be sent towards the heart, where fresh supply of oxygenated glucose rich blood will come back to the muscles so that your muscles are ready for the action again. So this synchronization or knowledge of asanas and the anatomy is very vital and important for you.